Hi, I'm Joe Connolly. Our guest today always wanted to be in the industry and food and travel industry, and he started out as a busboy, where his first boss told him, "Kid, you're never going to make it in this food business." Well, look at Sal DiBenedetto now. He founded one of the most popular food and travel Instagrams anywhere. It's called the Grubfather.
Yep.
What is the Grubfather? What has been your ticket to success thus far in the food business, Sal?
So food has become part of my life since I was a kid. You know, ever since I was growing up, my family has always just been obsessed with food. So for me, that was kind of like a natural step. It's a passion of mine. I've always felt very connected to food. So I feel that, especially with social media, when you connect with people on a personal level and they can tell it's genuine, it's very successful. And you reach an audience that is willing to hear what you have to say. And that for me has been my biggest strong point, is that I'm talking about things I'm passionate about. Food, travel, you know, living a positive lifestyle. I think that has really aided me.
And are there other sites or other Instagrams in addition to the Grubfather, or is that your main one right now?
That's it. I actually canceled my personal Instagram account to focus solely on the Grubfather, because for me, I wanted it to be more than just food pictures. I wanted it to be about my life. So now when I tell people to visit my page and they say, "Oh, well, what's your page about?" I say it's the adventures of Sal DiBenedetto from Long Island to New York City and around the world.
Now, how do you make money off that?
Well, I started a company about 2 years ago creating social media campaigns for restaurants, bars, food products, because a lot of the times a restaurant owner doesn't really have the time to invest in food photography, learning how to take good pictures of food, posting it. What do they say to their audience? So I took my degrees in culture, anthropology, and international studies, and kind of understanding people, and applied that to creating social media accounts that spoke to a certain clientele for a restaurant.
How did you get your first paid client to do this, Sal?
I was working as a waiter. And interestingly enough, the restaurant, which was called Brooklyn Commune, which is in Windsor Terrace, Brooklyn, was an incredible restaurant. The executive chef there, Chris Scott, he was executive chef at CNN Time Warner. Him and his wife opened up a little spot on a little corner in Brooklyn, and they operated as a cafe. He was a great chef, and he really wanted to expand his dinner program. And unfortunately, people kind of just viewed it as a cafe. So I tried to use social media to show the community that it was more than that, what was going on at dinner time. Unfortunately, didn't really work out too well. We got a lot of people in from social media, but not enough to sustain the nighttime service. But he wound up going on to open up a New York Times acclaimed restaurant, and he's on the Top Chef right now.
And you were a waiter there?
I was a waiter there, and I
he
started
was
learning.
your friend, and he hired you for extra money to produce this video.
Yes, or to create,
Right.
social media content. So I really
Wow.
kind of helped to build the brand and the voice. And it would be interesting to be a waiter, and I'd ask people who came in, I'd say, "Oh, how'd you hear about us?" And they would be like, "Oh, we saw you guys on Instagram." And I'd be like, "Oh, no way, that's me who does it." And I had people, because I got really into it, they would like get up and hug me, shake my hand. They'd be like, "That's you behind there? Like, that's amazing." So it was a really encouraging moment for me to know that there was something there. And this was before Instagram even was as big as it is now. So I knew that there was some secret sauce for restaurants in that formula, and I just knew I had to dive right into it.
And now you're a pretty good-sized business, aren't you?
Yeah, I have over 30 clients, and it's been a very interesting ride, to say the least.
And do you still do all the social media for them, or are you starting to hire employees?
So I still do all the photography for the most part. For me, that's one of my most crucial aspects to what I do, is being able to produce content for my clients. But I have hired a team of people that help me with executing the, routine stuff behind the scenes, things like that. So that's been really cool as well, to employ people.
What advice do you have, Sal, for somebody who wants to do what you have done and start a business in one of their passions?
I always tell people that when you start anything you do as an entrepreneur, it always has to be started as a passion. So, that's where it starts. Turn it into a hobby if you have to, but continue to do it every single day. Continue to further advance yourself every single day in what it is that you love to do. Eventually, you'll figure out a way to monetize it, and maybe it's just some little extra income that helps pay off one bill. But then maybe your business grows and you're able to pay off a few more bills. And then eventually you start making more money than your regular job, and you're doing well at it because it's what you love to do, and then it becomes your full-time job. Then you keep going, and you build a company.
And how did you find the way to monetize it? Or what are some other ways that you're familiar with? That's the trick. That's the key.
So the main thing in this industry that I found is you have to not be afraid to ask for what you want. A lot of people right now, they'll coast by, they'll take a free meal in order to promote a restaurant. They will go ahead and give a restaurant pictures for free. But to me, I don't think that that's fair. I think that people who are not only producing content, but also engaging their audience to let them know about these different restaurants, they need to ask for what they want, and they need to be making money from it in some circumstances. I think that people, as long as they hold true to their values and only promoting places that are authentic, that they really like and they genuinely enjoy, then there's no reason why they shouldn't be looked at as an advertising platform as well.
And just one last question on that. How do you do it? Because it's not easy for some people to ask for money for the first time. Maybe it's like asking a girl out on a date for the first time in high school.
Yep.
How do you ask for money to take some pictures for me?
Well, I always tell people this. I say, you wouldn't hire a photographer to come in here to take photos and then give them to you for free and just pay them with the meal. So why would I do that? You know, I have my own bills to pay. I have my own life to do. I have my own travels to go on and things I want to put my money and invest it into. So why should I be doing any free work? And I think that creatives need to learn that they are important. And they're very important to the restaurant industry as it continues to move forward in this social media world. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be compensated for their work. If it's quality, that's the biggest thing. Some people don't have a big enough audience to charge money, and maybe the free meal makes sense. But I think that when it comes to people who have a significant following, who are producing great content, there's really no reason why a restaurant shouldn't expect to have to compensate them in some way.
That's great advice. Your rates are going up, I have a feeling, because I hear you're being flown all over the world now to do projects?
Well, there's some times where you don't need to be compensated. And
wait a minute.
But the payoff has to be the right thing. So, for instance, I recently went to Sandal's new overwater bungalows in Jamaica. I didn't charge them because they put me up in a gorgeous overwater bungalow to document my experience. But as I always tell people, I like to wait until after my experience is done to start to stream my content, because if I didn't enjoy myself, I wouldn't put it out there to my audience, because you're talking a very big responsibility you have as a influencer here on social media, that people listen to what you have to say. And it's very important to give them good recommendations, because if you give them a bad one, then your reputation's out the window. Because if they spent thousands of dollars on a vacation that you had recommended and didn't have a good time, how's that going to look on you? It's not going to look good.
Sal, how about a couple of pieces of advice on how business owners in any industry can get more response on social media, Instagram, whatever it is? What would you advise?
I would say that they need to start to produce great content. They need to be marketing on a 1 to 2 day basis, like consistently posting, engaging with their audience, and producing content that is dynamic. Video has moved into this totally crazy world on social media where people, they like pictures, but they like to kind of watch too. They want to see what's going on. They want to see how a dish is made. I just had my biggest moment on social media where I had a video that got 2 million views on my page of Grubfather, which was insane. I put it out there. So it, rising steadily, and then it kept going, and then it was going wild, and I was like, whoa, is this really going to hit 1 million? Then it hit 1 million, and it kept going. Now it's at 2 million. And it's crazy because it was for one of my clients. So it was a really nice accomplishment for me to be able to put on for a business I believe in, and to put on for a food that honestly tasted pretty damn good.
Specifically, what was about a restaurant? How long was the video, and what was it about? It's gotten 2 million views.
It was 46 seconds, I believe, and it was a 3-foot buffalo chicken wrap. So I don't know if you've ever seen, like in a pizzeria, how they do like a chicken roll. Right. This was a buffalo chicken roll, and it was crazy.
What was the headline that you put on that, or the hashtag that you used?
I put, "Watch this 3-foot buffalo chicken wrap." And people just went crazy. It was out of control. And I also think that it was also aided by, the hype of the Super Bowl coming up. People love everything Buffalo. But again, that was a situation where I had said to my client, I said, we're not gonna market Buffalo chicken wings because everybody else is doing that. And that's the biggest thing, is that you never want to be doing what everybody else is doing. And I've taken quite a big stance on that. That if every influencer is going to one restaurant, I don't want to go there because they're the ones all producing the same content. I'm going to go where other people aren't going. So for me, putting that out there was just, I said, we're not going to do buffalo chicken wings. We're going to do a buffalo chicken wrap because no one else is doing that. And the result was big.
Just changing wings to wrap.
Yep.
What's a suggestion on use of hashtags for anybody else?
So hashtags are interesting because I think that they do aid people in finding new accounts, but it's become such an oversaturated market that if someone was to hashtag foodie, you're going to search for that hashtag and it's going to keep repopulating over and over and over every minute. Everyone's using that hashtag. You get a little bit more niche. You can maybe do like hashtag Long Island. Okay, you're still going to have a lot more posts, but it's not too concise. But then if you start going crazy making your own weird hashtags, no one's really looking at them. Right. So if you're doing certain campaigns, I would suggest to create hashtags around that where people know they can go there on a steady basis and maybe do like see like what happened during that campaign. Something I'm actually looking about doing with my travels, potentially doing like hashtag Grubfather in Paris, let's say. And then they can click there, and anytime I go to Paris, all of my stuff will be there.
I think you suggest...
I haven't done that yet, so don't go looking there just yet, but eventually.
I think you suggest using a narrow hashtag, like even neighborhood or town.
Yes.
That's better than, restaurants.
Right. Now, and also I have this idea in my head, and I know we're talking about small business, but if a big business such as Instagram is listening to me right now for some weird reason, my advice would be that they should allow people to search multiple hashtags so that I can type in hashtag Long Island, hashtag burger, hashtag Huntington, and what's going to pop up in my feed is burgers in Huntington, Long Island.
Can't do that now?
You can't do that now.
What's the matter with that?
I don't understand it, and I keep reaching out to them. I keep direct messaging Instagram CEO, and I'm like, I have a great idea, just reach out to me. Now I'm going to start going public with it, like right now.
And you can only do one hashtag per Instagram.
You can only search one hashtag.
Search one.
So if I'm a user, let's say I'm living in Long Island, or I'm living in New York City, and I want to find a really great burger in the Upper West Side, let's say, or Huntington.
Yeah.
I can't type in hashtag burger, hashtag Long Island, hashtag Huntington. It won't let me do that, so it can't narrow it down. So the hashtag has become so oversaturated, and that's a great way to kind of narrow it down so people can use hashtags in a meaningful way and the way they're supposed to be used.
All right, last question. Sal Di Benedetto, influencer. If you were going to put a hashtag on the pitch that you just made to Instagram, to the head of Instagram or Mark Zuckerberg or whoever it is, tell them what hashtag would you put on there right now to get through to them with your message?
I would put hashtag fix Instagram.
That's why he's the best. That's social marketing, media marketing.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Sal.
Appreciate it.